Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Here.
And AdvBlueDude.
Are you like making a point to like appear more and more and more unenthused every time we come on?
No, I'm just always consistently unenthused.
So it's just like, so you're just a shitty co-host then?
Oh yes, of course. Thank you. Why don't you go on about the show?
Alright. So, this is 21st Century Music. Oh my god, what are you doing?
I'm playing Zelda.
Wow. This is 21st Century Music, where we take our love of music in a 21st century direction, or some shit like that. You made me mess up the slogan. How dare you? How dare you?
Oh, I try.
Okay, let me see. Where we look at classic albums from a modern perspective.
There you go.
There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. This is all yours, my friend.
Yes.
This is you. It is your fault that we're talking about this massive, highly complex album that has like several different versions. Why do you do this? This is literally like the fucking Blade Runner of classic albums. Why'd you do this to me?
Because I like SMiLE.
Okay, so...
And I've raved about Dyke Parks. So I figured, let's do the one thing that people actually know.
Okay, so by all means, AdvBlueDude, you are our spirit guide on this journey through Brian Wilson's drug-riddled mind. Yes, spirit guide. You take that role seriously, don't you?
Yes, let me yawn again. I'm sorry. So tonight, this afternoon, whenever you're watching this, we will be talking about this morning, whenever the hell you're watching this, we will be talking about Brian Wilson's magnum opus, SMiLE. He tried making it right after Pet Sounds, late 60s.
Pet Sounds! Pet Sounds! Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It was...
Pet Sounds is better.
That's objective. I think it's...
And I'm sure we'll have plenty to say about that.
I think it was 67 or 68 when they started recording it. And, it's really something that hasn't been done before, because, the album was made to be entirely modular, meaning that you could take things from it and just stick it together anywhere, and it would fit, and that mostly works. I mean, it doesn't exactly work, but that was like they were like, you can't like say like, oh, this bridge goes here, it'll sound like shit, but not like shit, but it would sound very abrupt, but like that was the main
experiment with that, kind of like experiment with some different playlists, kind of like.
Oh, I would love to experiment with that.
Oh man, that'd be fun. Maybe we should do like a special episode just devoted to that one day.
I saw a very cool video where somebody took all of the demos from Heroes and Villains, or rather everything from Heroes and Villains, and rearranged it into a 10-minute suite.
Oh,
and it was fucking incredible. Like, it was really
cool.
It was really like the complete Heroes and Villains. But that's what's cool about SMiLE, is that you can do that. Not just using stuff that was in the album, but stuff that was scrapped as well. It still fits perfectly, and it still works fine.
But that's a great point, though, because Heroes and Villains, it's just one of those songs that just it basically kicks off the album after kind of a short little like doo-wop.
Yeah, it has like all
voice, harmonized vocals.
Yeah.
And then it goes into Heroes and Villains.
Yes.
And then from there, Heroes and Villains basically worms its way throughout the whole album.
Oh my god, yes it does.
Way.
Yeah. Yeah, so like it was like that, but essentially the story of SMiLE is that Brian Wilson slowly went insane during the making of this.
Barrett status.
I think not quite Barrett. I think it was around this time that he really started to get schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when it's like
legit schizophrenia. I didn't know he had legit schizophrenia.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, okay.
Don't quote me, but I'm like 95% sure that he did.
Right, right.
Um,
Huh.
yeah, but like during this time, like he would have meetings in his pool because he thought that his house was bugged, and he just got like things like that. He got really weird, and
Sure, sure.
it reached its apex when they filmed a video for a song called "The Element Fire Mrs. O'Leary's Cows." So they filmed the video, and the building that they were storing the negatives in caught on fire.
Oh shit. Oh no.
So Brian Wilson went apeshit thinking that he released like a bad omen and just scrapped the album went into seclusion.
Oh wow.
And
Okay,
that
so
was
this kind
his
of sounds more like a Jeff Mangum style of crazy then.
I suppose, yes, but it wasn't fame that really ruined him.
Well, with Jeff Mangum, it wasn't really fame. It was more
I thought it was
so
recognition.
recognition and expectation.
Well, yeah, I mean, with Brian Wilson, it wasn't really expectation. It was
Well,
more
he was trying to follow
superstition.
up Pet Sounds.
Well, yeah, but I think with him it was more superstition.
Right, right.
Yeah. But
So you're saying when the cabin with the demos burned on fire, you're saying he basically like went into superstition mode and just started freaking out that everything was cursed.
yeah, essentially because the song, like the negatives that caught on fire, were for a video entitled "The Element Fire," Mrs. O'Leary's
Right.
cows, which Mrs. O'Leary's cow was what caused the Chicago fire. So, so that happened. Went in conclusion. SMiLE was canceled. And it was really interesting because when you listen to the Beach Boys' SMiLE sessions, the album is essentially done,
Yeah, really.
which plays back into that modular thing, where part of the reason why it was never released was because nobody knew how the fuck it fit together because of how strangely it was created.
Yeah, yeah.
So fast forward to 2003, and he starts recording SMiLE again,
Oh
and it's
yes,
released in
oh yes.
2004.
As Brian Wilson presents Smile.
Brian Wilson presents SMiLE, and
Yes.
here we are today, almost 10 years later. Holy fuck, 10 years later.
Oh dear God.
Wait just a second. Oh, we're almost exactly 10 years.
Oh wow.
We're about
How
a
far
month
off?
off. About a month.
Okay, well that's appropriate then. That's very appropriate.
Yes.
So we're gonna be mostly taking a look at the Brian Wilson version while still kind of drawing and comparing to the Beach Boys sessions. One interesting little side note, me and AdvBlueDude, we haven't really looked too much into this album, but the actual album that was released post Pet Sounds was called Smiley Smile.
Smiley
And
Smile.
Smiley Smile, yes.
Yes.
And it contained I believe, okay, let me see. I have it right here. It contained off of Smile, the songs it had that were off of Smile were, it started with Heroes and Villains and then went right into Vegetables.
Hmm.
And then
Let's vegetables on that?
yeah, yeah.
That's interesting.
And then side 2 it starts with Good Vibrations and then I think Wind Chimes and Wonderful are also on there. The rest I don't recognize. So yeah, it's just a kind of an interesting little mishmash. Obviously, it doesn't have any sort of the high concept sort of symphony nature of SMiLE.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about Smiley Smile is that it was kind of like a SMiLE light, where like it had the songs but not the production.
I don't
It
even
was-
consider it SMiLE light. I consider it like, hey, here's some Beach Boys songs that we're gonna slap together with some other Beach Boys songs that we were working on when Brian went crazy.
Well,
That's
no,
what I
I mean,
consider Smiley Smile.
I mean Smile light more in that it had the bare bones versions of some of the songs that were on the album.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
And also, before we go any further, I need to point out a joke that was on Portlandia, or a skit, more so.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
No? Okay. Do you know of Portlandia?
Oh yeah, I know of it. I just haven't.
Of it? Okay. Okay, so hear me out. There's this guy, right? And he's got this recording studio in his house that he's like all stoked about, and he's like He's like all hyping it up. And he's like, and literally every single time he describes anything in the recording studio, he compares it to Pet Sounds. He's just like, oh yeah, these mics, dude, these mics, total Pet Sounds quality. Total Pet Sounds aesthetic in here. These guitars, oh yeah, we're gonna be ripping some Pet Sounds grooves in here, baby. Acoustics, you better believe it's, so basically it's just like Pet Sounds, Pet Sounds, Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
Basically it's like a stereotype of me because I thoroughly emphatically suck Pet Sounds off as much as possible. I love Pet Sounds. I'm sorry, that got very graphic very fast. Oh god. So I guess in this corner we have the modern traditionalist hipster who's got his head thoroughly up Brian Wilson's ass about Pet Sounds. And in this other corner, we've got the more traditional hipster who's got his head thoroughly up Brian Wilson's ass about SMiLE. How will this conversation go down? Only you will have to watch to find out. AdvBlueDude, take us through it.
Okay, so, SMiLE starts off really, really interestingly with, 2 songs. They both play into each other. I mean, Heroes and Villains does it well, but this one does it more so. Our Prayer in G.
Mm-hmm.
Our Prayer is really, really interesting because it's entirely a cappella. And it's the ultimate, like, the Beach Boys, like, hey, we're going to use our voices as an instrument. It really is. Like, I've always kind of considered it to be, like, the vocal warm-up of the album.
Yeah.
Because it's all, like, oohs and ahs and ees. And so it sounds like they're warming up, and it's fucking incredible. Like, it's one of the most beautiful pieces of music that I've ever heard.
And then I really do like what is it? G. I like G. It's fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, it is.
Oh
my god, I never realized that.
What?
Oh my god, I never realized that.
What?
They do Our Prayer, like a sort of vocal warm-up.
Uh-huh.
And then they go into G, which is essentially like an homage to what they used to do.
What do you mean?
Like, G is like a really upbeat song about, like, high school and all. Well, not about high school, but you could, like it's all about love, and, like, it seems like a high school Southern California kind of song in the 60s.
Like, it's just like a doo-wop.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, that's what the Beach Boys used to do, essentially.
Okay.
And then it drops into Heroes and Villains.
All right. So
It's
kind
really
of a little bit of the new with the old?
Yeah, like, it seems like in those 3 songs... I mean, to me, I'm looking into this way too deeply. But, like, to me, it seems like...
But SMiLE is one of those albums that I really genuinely don't think you could look into too deeply.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because it's just like, I get what you're saying. Like, Dyke Parks went way over my head. This shit, I appreciate Pet Sounds more as a whole, but I can still really appreciate all the structure and all the meticulous detail that went into this.
No, to me, it seems like these 2 songs evolution of the Beach Boys, and it goes into Heroes and Villains, just like the latest sound. And
right.
It really gets you prepared for what the rest of SMiLE is going to be. Like, it's easing you into the album.
Yeah, for sure.
Holy shit.
Sure.
I just cracked the code. No, I do. No, but like, it's
I love when that happens. I love when that happens with albums. It's the beauty of listening to music. It's just like, oh, holy shit, that's what that's supposed to mean, you know?
Yeah. No, G is a really nice. It's really fun. It's a really nice. Fun short song. And then it's got that trombone little guy, and then suddenly Heroes and Villains. Do 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 do. And then suddenly Heroes and Villains, which is a wonderful fucking song.
Yeah, Heroes and Villains. I mean, we all know it. We all love it. You know, it's on most every best of Beach Boys compilation. So it's just, it's one of those songs it's interesting how much of a history it has, like, for how well known it is.
Oh yeah.
because it just went through so many different incarnations and whatnot.
Yeah, especially like with it being such a well-known song, unless you've listened to SMiLE or listened to like SMiLE sessions, all that bullshit,
Right.
you probably haven't heard the Cantina scene.
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
a really nice.
exactly.
It's a really nice bridge in the song.
So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean it's like everyone else has heard the rest of the song, but like the Cantina scene's really interesting. It kind of adds to the story that the song has, which it's kind of a ballad actually, Heroes and Villains, I suppose. But yeah, the Cantina scene's really nice. It's really simple. It's a nice little bridge and a nice little like slow down for such a fast-paced breakdown for such a fast-paced song.
Right.
Yeah, and then it has the weird train thing that they do, and then it goes into the third verse. Then it has an absolutely beautiful ending where where it goes back into our prayer for like a second. And builds upon itself, then goes into the other orchestral break, and then falls into like a nice little breakdown with all like the clarinets and strings. And it's a really nice ending.
Yeah, well said. I know in the SMiLE sessions they have the voice of the cop who's just like, "You're under arrest."
Yeah.
And it sounds like Ralph the Guard.
Yeah.
And is that on the Brian Wilson version?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, I really like that. That's so fun.
What the hell was I going to say? Let me mention this before we move forward. SMiLE is in 3 movements.
Oh yeah.
Movement 1 is Americana, which we'll talk about now. I'll go over the other ones as
I can totally see.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like I've told you this that I forget completely where I've heard this, but I heard somewhere that SMiLE is a rock opera to an extent.
You see, I could totally. There's a fine line between rock opera and concept album. I think that'd actually be a really fascinating standalone topic to cover one day.
It is, yeah.
I view this more as a concept album than a rock opera. I view Sgt. Pepper way more as a concept album than a rock opera.
Oh, Sgt. Pepper most certainly is a concept album.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say that this doesn't have... I mean, it's kind of like a mix between the two, because the only character is the bicycle rider, who is only mentioned in, like, 2 lines in the whole album. But,
yeah, that's my problem with it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, essentially...
With that respect, it's like Sgt. Pepper, you know, with the Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band, they're mentioned, like, you know, like, they have the 2 segues. They have the first song, and then it segues into Billy Sears, and then they have the end where it segues into Another Day in the Life. So
I suppose so, but I mean, like, Sgt. Pepper, the story of that is you're here to see a concert for Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. SMiLE, the story for SMiLE is that you're following a bicycle rider as he travels and discovers America. So it has a little bit more of a story to it. Like I said, like, if anything, it's probably a mix of the two.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think it's, like, we'll be covering some rock operas.
Yes.
Oh boy, next week we will be covering some rock operas, and we'll let you know what those are.
It's definitely not anything. I mean, it's definitely not anything on the scale of like Tommy or
Hazards of Love or something.
Yeah, or Hazards of Love or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. Because with those, it's like there's, you know, they got multiple different voice actors providing roles, and my god, I love rock operas. No, but with this, I almost kind of look at it as it's a symphony. It's the closest thing we've ever had to a rock symphony.
It really is, and that was Brian Wilson's goal.
Interesting, because it's almost like Brian Wilson almost created like a whole new genre that kind of lies right in the middle between rock opera and concept album with that.
But do you know what's so interesting?
What?
You know how Brian Wilson has like such a distinct production style?
Oh yeah. Oh sure.
You know why he tried to do that?
What?
Brian Wilson got to the sound that he got to because he tried to emulate Phil Spector.
I can totally see that.
That is, yeah, like he loved the wall of sound.
The wall of sound, of course.
And honestly, in my opinion, he perfected it. Brian Wilson, and
Yeah.
surpassed Spectre, and didn't put a gun to the Ramones' heads.
Oh God. Oh
But
God.
but
man.
like I really think he did, and that's what's really interesting about it, because like what you were saying, like it's as I don't know if I want to make this blanket of a statement. Fuck it. It's as close to classical music as rock is going to get.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. Yeah, I mean, you have bands, you have acts these days like Vampire Weekend, for example, who use classical instrumentation, but all their songs are still pop songs. I like the idea that they're using classical instruments. I think that's really cool, but at the end of the day, it's still very much a pop structure. With this, they structure it exactly like a symphony.
Oh my god, yeah, like Brian Wilson was somehow able to combine rock and those instruments with classical and those instruments.
Yeah.
Seamlessly, absolutely seamlessly. Like, just take the ending to Heroes and Villains, for example. It goes from, like, all, like, the upbeat Heroes and Villains and stuff to like, a quick little reprieve of Our Prayer, and then into, like, this really, really cool orchestral bridge.
Right.
And then, speaking of bridge, it bridges right back into Roll Plymouth Rock.
It's kind of interesting because these songs all kind of have like a little bit of a snowball effect on each other, where it's like Heroes and Villains shows back up on Roll Plymouth Rock, and
Roll
then
Plymouth Rock shows up later.
Yeah. So it's like, oh man.
And then throughout the album, even before they're shown, there are hints of Good Vibrations. There are hints of whatchamacallit? Shit, I had Father the Man, or what is it actually called? Child is Father of the Man. Like throughout the album. But to continue, since before we get horribly off topic, not off topic, but just so we're moving forward at a good pace. Roll Plymouth Rock. This one's interesting. It's not my favorite song, but
it's not. But I appreciate the context it has within the overall like symphony quality to the album.
Yeah.
I don't know. To tell you the truth, I kind of I've heard versions of the song that don't have the Heroes and Villains kind of bridge, and I kind of like that a bit better.
I really like the Heroes and Villains bridge.
I
think a lot of it for me is the instrumentation.
I think it works really good within the context of the album. I'm just saying, as a standalone song.
Oh yeah, I can.
If you're going to put it on your iPod, the Heroes and Village bridge kind of comes out of nowhere if you're not listening to the rest of the album in context.
Well, yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. But it's still,
I really love the Heroes and Village bridge, though.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying completely, but
yeah. Yeah. It's a nice song, though.
And that's also where the Bicycle Rider comes in for the one time.
Yeah.
The Bicycle Rider CC. Bicycle Rider CC, what you've done, where it kind of goes back to the chorus of Heroes and Villains.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bicycle Rider. Wow, that's the one mention.
Yeah, essentially.
That's impressive.
Yes. And there's not really a whole lot I want to say about this song. I mean, it's okay. It's nice.
Yeah. So then we get to the Beach Boys. Literally, this cracks me up. They're literally making pet sounds.
Yes.
How ironic is that?
I was watching things about this, and it was great. How, like, the Beach Boys came in, and, like, oh no, I was watching... It wasn't about the Beach Boys, it was about Brian Wilson's SMiLE. There's a whole, like, hour-long documentary on it, and it's fucking amazing.
I should have watched that. Oh.
It's really good. Like, it's from when he revived it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, all the people in his band, like, the only one I remember is Darian Sahara. That's probably just because of his name. But, and he does most of the interview. But, like, he's saying, like, they're recording this, and, like, Brian Wilson comes in, and he's like, okay, you're a cat, you're a pig, you're a sheep.
Oh, my God.
So, like, he had a plan for it. It's fucking weird.
Oh, wow. So Barnyard, not much to it. I really like the groove. I really like the guitar groove it has, though. It's very, like, funky, like, Polynesian kind of, like...
Yeah, it's really simple and really nice.
But yeah, it's just the Beach Boys goofing around in classic Beach Boys fashion. I love it. I really do. It's one of my favorite moments on the album, to tell you the truth.
Mm. And then there's one of my favorite moments in the album after this.
Yeah,
where
for sure.
Barnyard just stops and it turns into like this old cello interlude that's called Old Master Painter. And it's just like this really beautiful segment. And then it fades and kind of like dies, I suppose, into like a really haunting version of "You Are My Sunshine."
Yeah, it's the exact same lyrics, but it's just like Brian Wilson being like super depressing about it.
Oh, you know what? It's not the exact same lyrics.
Oh, what was changed? I'm sorry.
He says, "You were my sunshine."
Oh,
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay.
So like it's a really short thing, but like it's really nice and it's really kind of haunting.
I think that combined with Barnyard might just be my favorite like little couplet of songs.
I really like it too. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Barnyard, but I really absolutely love Old Master Painter and You Are My Sunshine.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so
and then there's Cabinessence.
Yeah.
Cabinessence is a really, really, really nice song. I forget. Yeah. I don't have a whole lot to say about this one, actually. I mean, it's a really nice song, but I just don't have a whole lot to say.
Yeah, I really don't either.
It's a nice ending for the first movement.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just like, hold on, I might have to listen to it a little bit, but keep talking.
Cabinessence is a nice song. With going with the theme that I'm talking about, where the album is a concept album rock opera about a bicycle rider going through America, this is definitely indicative of like the Smokies or the Rockies, like a more natural kind of southernish area, because like it has a lot of banjo, maybe like the Bayou, but it has like really nice banjo in it. It's just a nice slow song. And then,
it's in a way, kind of really is an appropriate transition into into the second movement.
It picks up at the end, a lot at the end.
Right.
Because it just kind of it has the over and over the crow cries uncover the cornfield, which is fucking weird, but it's one of my favorite moments in the album actually. Just that whole sequence, because it just kind of happens as everyone who's singing is like swelling and going down in the background, and then yeah, right before that, I'm sorry, I got mixed up. Right before that part, has the Who Ran the Iron Horse part. Just kind of weird and kind of comes from nowhere, but then it's nice, and then it fades out, and then goes into Act 2.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the banjos and everything. You're right. It definitely does sort of have a bayou sort of flavor to it. I don't necessarily think it's the most memorable. It's just kind of like laid back. It is a nice transition. It's a nice transition point though. So
yeah.
So all right.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Then there's movement 2, which is called The Cycle of Life. And it starts off with a song called Wonderful. And it's a wonderful song. But
it does remind me of something off of it reminds me of something they would put on Pet Sounds, just tone-wise.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really beautiful song.
Because Pet Sounds is just all about like those like really meticulously crafted love songs and songs that kind of display emotion and isolation and whatever. So
it's a really beautiful song. Yeah, and that's partially because of his falsetto, but it's a really, really nice song. It's not that long, so I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. Movement number 2 is kind of the more lax. Other than the end. The end I can go on for fucking hours about. But
oh, I'm sure you can.
Yeah. But up before it, Don Klugschild's Father of the Man, because that's also amazing. But
right.
It's kind of lax. There's not a whole lot to say about it. Like, it's a really, really nice, beautiful section of the album. Yeah,
I'm actually a very big fan of what is it? It's
Song for Children.
song for children.
Let me
Just
listen to
because
that again.
it's straight
Keep
up
going.
carousel music. It's straight up carousel music, and I think it's just like that just kind of represents like what good music to children sort of is in the sort of style of Americana that Wilson's going for. It's like, the sort of nostalgia factor, like what kids were into back in the day. It's, carousel
Well,
music.
I think I.
I think it what?
Hello?
Yeah?
Ah, shit. Wait.
Did you lose me? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Talk. Nope.
Hello? Hello?
Talk.
Hello?
Nope.
I'm talking. I'm
I'm
talking.
sorry, everybody. My headphones are shit. Keep talking. Don't
Yes.
stop.
Okay. So yeah, Beach Boys, Beach Boys, Beach Boys. Not hear me at all?
There we go. Okay.
Oh
Ah!
god. Thank God. Thank
Okay, let me pull this back up. A song for children.
God. It's just a nice little carousel melody. I mean, that's what it is.
Wonderful. It is a really nice song. One of the parts I really like about it is when it samples 12th Street Rag for like a second, and it's really I just like 12th Street Rag, so that's partially why I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
it's a nice song. It's a nice little tiny song, and then I always forget the name. It's a weird name. And then Child's Father the Man is absolutely amazing. It's a really, really nice bridge into Surf's Up.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just love the way it's structured, though, because it's so weird and like it builds upon itself, and everyone who's singing is doing something different, even in the lyrics, which is it's really cool. I just love how it builds. Absolutely
Yeah.
love how it builds. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, for sure.
Yeah. And then there's Surf's Up, which, holy fuck, Surf's Up. If it wasn't so mellow, I would say that it was the climax of the album.
That's kind of the problem I have with it, is that to me, it almost kind of puts the album to a grinding halt.
How so?
I'm very much of a different opinion on this song than you are, my friend.
You don't like it?
Not really.
Get out of here. Leave.
Okay.
Goodbye. Okay, now that the smart people are still here, Surf's Up is... I wish he would come back. I don't know. He's not coming back. Surf's Up is a really very, very... He's not coming back. I don't know what else to do. I can't hide behind him anymore. I need to... Oh, thank Christ. Oh, Jesus. Fuck. What have I done?
Ayo, Daddy-o!
Oh, no.
So Tiki was telling me about how he doesn't like Surf's Up. Isn't that the Penguin movie where they're trying to make a documentary?
Yes, that's a really good movie. Who is in that? Somebody big
I
was...
believe that. I actually think it's Shia LaBeouf.
Is it real? I'm gonna look this up now.
I'm pretty sure it is Shia LaBeouf. Look it
Sorry,
up.
ladies and gentlemen.
Look it up and see.
Oh, wait.
Mr. Donald loves underappreciated animated movies.
Oh, it was Jeff Bridges. That's who was... Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jeff Bridges. But will Shia in it as well?
And John Heater. But yes, that's beside the point. Surf's Up. I remember hearing a story about Surf's Up where first of all, let me preface this by saying like Love wanted absolutely nothing to do with SMiLE when it was being recorded, and what pissed him off is that Dyke Parks was writing the song, so was writing all the songs, so like he kept asking Van Dyke Parks what colonnaded Rumen's domino means, and he wouldn't tell him, and that's still to me that's one of like the strangest lyrics ever.
What
Colonnaded
is
Rumen. What?
What is it? What's the lyric?
Columnated Ruins Domino.
Okay, that is some wacky stuff.
I'm sure you can tell who wrote it.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
No, the whole first part of Surf's Up is one of the deepest things that I don't know if I want to say that. It might not be the right term I'm looking for. But sure, what the hell. It's one of like the deepest things that I've ever listened to. Because like it's really slow and melodic and it's really abstract and weird because it's Van Dyke Parks. But it's just like the whole lyric, like, the diamond necklace played the pawn. Hand in hand, some drummed along. Oh, to reveal
Aha,
to
it's actually not hipster daughter. Guy, Tiki, back from the dead. I just blew your mind, didn't I?
I don't know anything anymore. Truly.
Weird Al was right when he said everything you know is wrong.
But it's a really, really, really nice. Like just the lyrics of it are absolutely
This is where I have to come
incredible.
in. This is where we're gonna have our little Van Dyke Parks debate, like we had on the Van Dyke Parks episode.
Yes.
I don't get it. I don't get what is so special about this song. It's slow. It's not very catchy.
It doesn't have to be catchy. That's what I love about it. It's not just the lyrics of the song, because, truth be told, half the lyrics I don't fucking understand. I mean, I can understand a lot of Song Cycle, but this I don't understand.
Okay, well,
But
kind of the opposite with me, to tell you the truth. I mean, with this, it's like mostly I understand what they're talking about. I just don't see why it's really that deep. Like, I understand the structure of it and the structure of the album as a whole. I don't know, man. This is one of those songs where it's like, you have raved to me about it since we started 21st Century Music. I've always tried to listen to it, so just keep in mind, this isn't just like me listening to SMiLE and not liking this song. This is me trying to like this song for months and not really getting it.
I mean, yeah, each his own. I mean, like, it's...
I guess so,
I say it all the time. It's all objective. But I mean, like, I just absolutely love this song. Because, like, I understand it's not catchy, but I think that's part of the appeal for me, because it's not catchy, but it's one of the most beautiful pieces of music I have ever heard. It is absolutely stunning, both lyrically and musically. And honestly, after it breaks, like, it has a little breakdown where it says, canvas the town and cross the... Canvas the town... Jesus Christ. Canvas the town and brush the backdrop. Are you sleeping, Brother John? When it does that, like, they go really high and it kind of stops.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that is one of the most, like, hands down, one of my favorite parts in any song ever. Like, I mean, I know this on piano, and I absolutely love to play this part of the song. It's one of my favorite things to play, because of how it plays with tempo as well. Like, as dubbed as the towers they are, strike the Quicksilver Moon. After that, where it has, carriage across the town, the laughs come hard, and auld lang syne. The glasses raised, the fire rose, the fullness of the wine, the dim last toasting. Like, just that line, and the way it's sung, and the tune of it, and the way the music is played, and the way the tempo is played with how it speeds up and slows down is absolutely stunning to me. And it's a really good... It really shows what Brian Wilson is capable of and what he does. There is one other song that I would say that is entirely indicative of Brian Wilson, but we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Okay.
Like, just that section of the song before it picks up again, where it goes back into a song for children, and the child is the father of the man. It's one of the most beautiful pieces of music that I've ever heard, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I hear you. I do like the way that they wrap that all around. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said, it's all objective.
Mhm.
But just that middle section of Surf's Up is one of my favorite pieces of anything.
Okay. Okay.
And
Well.
then the ending when it picks up is really nice too. It definitely it's interesting because it's the end of the second movement, and I feel as though it's the only time in the album where the end of a movement circles back to the beginning. Though of course
That's
it is
true.
called
That's interesting.
though holy shit, it's called Cycle of Life.
Duh.
Oh my god, it
Oh,
works.
connections. Oh
So
boy.
I'm sure that was intentional actually.
Right.
But like I just really like how it seems like I'm gonna just use this thing as an example. Like, you know, like the end of Les Mis, like it's all like a medley of like every song throughout the it's kind of like that for this movement. Where it kind of circles back and just entwines everything. And
I hear you.
it's absolutely
Okay.
incredible.
Yeah. Now that you describe it like that, I can kind of see where it's coming from a little more. Because
And
really,
then
it's
ends
like
with
it kind of like it's longer than any of the other tracks on this movement. So really, in a way, what it does is kind of just snakes up all the other tracks and just regurgitates them in a really nice sort of way.
yes, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then it has like that really, really nice a cappella part at the end where they just say a child.
Mm-hmm.
And then it
Right.
just stops. And then we move into movement 3, which is the elements. And what I find interesting about this is when it goes in the first song, the first track on it is I'm in great shape / I want to be around / workshop. And what I find interesting about it is that when it drops in, it's kind of an odd effect where like it kind of just waltzes in literally because it's a waltz, and
Right.
it's really nice and kind of gets you back into it because you can really tell that when they did this live, movement 2 and in between movement 2 and 3 was the intermission.
Okay.
Which I
Yeah.
find
I
really
hear you.
interesting. But I don't have a whole lot to say about I'm in great shape / I want to be around / workshop. It's a nice little thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. You know, it's just a nice little transitional piece to kind of get you back into the groove of things after the after kind of like the let's just call it the second act climax of Surf's Up. You know,
Yeah.
so kind of establish another sort of status quo going forward.
Okay.
Okay, so
And then after that, it drops into vegetables.
and I love vegetables.
This is the song that I find to be most indicative of Brian Wilson.
Good.
Because, like, throughout my listening of Brian Wilson, like, listening to interviews, just listening to his music as well, a lot of what he does seems really childlike and playful.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
musically and personally. And Vegetables is really like, most indicative of that. Like, it really shows that side of him off.
I'm gonna plow down my vegetables, bite off and sell my vegetables, yeah.
Love you most of all. My favorite vegetable.
And then you, of course, got the bow da da da
Yeah.
da bow da ba da ba da da da. Yeah, no, I'm glad we're on the same page because I love this song. I'd say it's probably my favorite song on the whole album, to tell you the truth.
Honestly, this isn't one of my favorites.
Okay.
I like it well enough, but like when I listen to this, I don't say "Holy fuck, vegetables." I mean,
See, for me, that's what it is. It's like the highlight of the album when it comes on. I'm like, yeah, vegetables, groove out, right on.
I mean, like it's a nice song.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like you said, it's just super playful, and I really like that about it.
It's really, really playful.
And I don't know, man. I guess I'm just like more kind of shallow than you are in terms of music taste because I like the catchy. I like the catchy. I appreciate the catchy.
I am the each so.
All right. So, and then what's next? Hello? Did we lose him? Oh boy.
Fuck.
No, no, no. You're here. You're here.
Okay, thank God.
Oh,
I
God.
got worried.
That
I
was
wasn't sure if it was me or you.
I think it was both of us to a certain extent.
Ah, shit. So after that is On a Holiday, which I really like the beginning of it because it just kind of starts out with a marimba, like really simply. It's got a slide whistle.
Oh.
But I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the song.
I like it.
What I find interesting is that most of it is not in the Beach Boys version.
Interesting. Interesting.
I
You're
remember the
right.
marimba part being in it, but I don't remember any other part of it being in it.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Looking back on it.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I really like the end of it when it circles back into Roll Plymouth Rock.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Like
just
that's
kind
really
of-
cool. I really like how it's all intertwined. And it's yeah.
I mean, we had this conversation off air, but like I can most definitely think of other albums that do that same sort of thing better. But I think with this one, it's just the way that it was approached and the way that it was all structured and the three movements and everything. Like, it's up there. I mean, I don't know. We'll definitely talk about some stuff with the two albums that we're going to get to next week. I definitely think there's a lot of lyrical callbacks in those two albums, but
Yeah.
you know, we'll save that for when we get to it.
Yeah.
So then, but no, I'm with you. I really like On a Holiday. You know, it's just a fun little bouncy number to kind of carry you along. You know, getting near the end, so it's like, yeah, we're on a holiday. Kind of fits back in with the overall theme of the album too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then after that is Wind Chimes.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful song. What the hell am I on? I honestly don't have a whole lot to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. I like it a lot. I think it's very pretty. I think it definitely fits with, you know, After Vegetables and On a Holiday, which are very upbeat songs. I think it's kind of like a nice little transitional thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's about it. But you know, it's really nice. It's really nice.
And then after that is Mrs. O'Leary's Cows.
Oh,
Cow.
Mrs. O'Leary's Cow.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear the song title of this, I just think of Adam Hart Mother.
You know the origin of the title, right?
What is the origin of the title?
Mrs. O'Leary's Cow is what caused the Chicago fire.
Oh, okay. Oh, dear God.
It was started on a farm run by
dear.
Mrs. O'Leary, and her cow tipped over a lantern.
I think
which
they
is-
joked about that on Family Guy.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure I've seen something like that.
But
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'd have to ask Blue Dragon 5, but... Oh, God.
yeah, that's where the name comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's not called this in Brian Wilson's version, but it's a song written about fire. And it's entirely instrumental aside from ooze. Like there's no words in it.
Oh.
It's a really cool song. It's really cool. Like at the beginning with all the sirens and everything, and just like the really bassy
it's almost
piano.
kind of like a funhouse sort of vibe. You know what I mean?
It really is. Yeah.
Or like a circus or something like that. Just very madcap.
Yeah, it's really, really madcap.
Like
Which
I want
I-
to say this is the kind of music that they could use on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
I wouldn't quite say that.
If Nora in particular didn't exist.
They'd have to make it more. They'd have to make the ride a lot darker.
Oh God, you're right.
Yeah. No, it's a really, really nice instrumental. It's really fun. I really like the piano on it.
Correct. Is this one of the only well, no, I guess there's Song for Children, but it's weird that for an album that's so much about symphony, that really he's kind of restrained when it comes to using instrumentals.
Oh yeah, he is.
And that's one of the things I appreciate, because I feel like a lot of the times when bands are just like, oh, I'm going to create this big sound and this big sort of bold statement in my music. Yeah, so like fucking 10-minute instrumentals. And those can be cool to a certain extent, but it's like, I don't know. I definitely think Brian Wilson he knows just the right amount to put in. That's always been his thing. I mean, look at fucking Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
Like, those 2 instrumentals on there, among the best instrumentals of all time, I'd have to say.
No, that's what's great about Brian Wilson, though, is that he does instrumentals. Hell, like, even when his recording style is weird, because he wouldn't go on tour with the Beach Boys.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were on tour, he'd be recording instrumentals for the songs. So, like, he'd record the instrumentals first, purposely to complement the vocals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which I find really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that just, like, it carries over perfectly, and that's probably why he has the sound that he does.
Yeah, I hear you. All right.
After that is In Blue Hawaii. It's
cue Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 joke.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I look like Elvis from Blue Hawaii. Ha! Oh, God.
This isn't my favorite song. Actually, it's not my favorite song at all. It's probably one of the weakest songs, in my opinion.
Yeah, hold on, I'm kind of pulling it up. But keep talking.
I really like the beginning of it, where it has like that weird echoey effect where they're just saying water.
Right,
and
right.
Then, yeah. Other than that, I don't really remember a whole lot, other than the "Is it hot as hell in here, or is it me? It truly is."
Oh yeah, it's the whole "Is it hot in hell in here" song.
Yeah. It's not my favorite.
I don't know. I guess it works as a penultimate song.
It builds up a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's sort of like the moment in the album where it's like, ooh.
Fuck, I love the instrumentation of this album. It's so great. But yeah, it's an okay song. It's definitely not the strongest on the album.
Okay. Yeah, we could both agree to that.
And then we come to our final song, Good Vibrations, which is probably one of the most famous Beach Boys songs.
Yeah, what is the overall history with this song? It was first recorded as a single, right, in '66?
No.
Right?
No, it was recorded for SMiLE.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a single.
It came out as a single, as did Heroes and Villains.
After SMiLE was kaput?
No, that's how close SMiLE was to being released. Singles were being released for it.
Oh, wow. Damn.
But what's interesting about this is that there's 2 versions of the lyrics.
Okay.
Because Dyke Parks
you're right.
wrote a version of the lyrics. Mike Love, being the asshole that he is, said fuck that, wrote his own, and then forced them to record that. Or not, probably not force them, but yeah. So there's 2 versions of the lyrics.
I am going to hold a gun to your head unless you record my version.
Oh, Phil Spector. Go back to jail. But, I'm pretty sure Brian Wilson's SMiLE uses the Dyke Parks lyrics.
Okay.
I would be surprised if it didn't.
Mm.
But, yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about Good Vibrations.
No, I mean, there's everything to say about Good Vibrations, but like we could literally have a whole episode about Good Vibrations. Yeah. It's fantastic.
I mean, it's an incredible song. I like how...
It's like talking about something like Stairway to Heaven. It's like, yeah, duh, yes. Everyone knows how good it is.
Yeah. I like how there's parts in the song that weren't in other versions.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you.
Like the little breakdown where they're like that part. I fucking love that part. It's just a really great song, and it's a really, really great climax and closer to the album. Yeah.
And that was Brian Wilson's SMiLE. Well done.
Oh fuck, we did it.
I think we got through that quite briskly. That was good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, I'd have to say, like I said, I don't quite enjoy it as much as Pet Sounds, and we will have that debate when we get to it. But but I do very much see all the merits of this, though. It took me a while to warm up to it, but really, after everything you've told me about it, after kind of analyzing all the all the different kind of movements and components and callbacks to the music, I very much appreciate it. It's a bold album.
It really
I
is.
think that's the right word for it. It's like it's it's one of those albums that it's pretty famous, but even still people find it hard to get their mindset around to a certain extent. Because, like you said, it's just like, but I don't know, it's really quite fascinating because it's like, it's essentially the entire Beach Boys experience rolled up into just a big old symphony.
Yeah.
Which is...
I find it incredible that it was so ahead of its time that it took 40 years to complete.
Yeah, you can't say that for a lot of albums, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh god. Anyways, Adventure Blue Dude, any final thoughts on SMiLE before we get to the preview for next week?
Everybody go listen to SMiLE.
Yeah, everyone.
It's a great fucking... It's so good. It has some of the best instrumentation you'll ever hear in a pop album. It has some of the most interesting lyrics, partially because of Dyke Parks. I'm a Dyke Parks fanboy, I apologize. That's weird to say. Nobody knows who Dyke Parks is, and I'm a fanboy. But, yeah, it's a really, really amazing album. One other thing, comparing it back to the Beach Boys version,
sure,
because I made you listen to both. I find it interesting that...
Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry, what was that? Hello? Oh god.
Hello?
You there?
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Hey.
Okay, what was interesting comparing back to the first
I
album?
mean, it's really interesting because the Beach Boys version was essentially complete, but not at the same time. Because Brian Wilson, when he redid the album, he added so much to it, and redid parts that weren't completed for the original version of the album.
Right.
So Brian Wilson's is definitely more of a complete experience. And what else I've noticed by listening to the two back to back, the Beach Boys did not seem enthused by this album.
Yeah.
I know that Mike Love wasn't because
right.
he didn't understand it. But, like, compared to the Brian Wilson version, where they're so upbeat, like, they're all really into it and fucking going apeshit, like, the Beach Boys version, they're just kind of like, it seems like something they have to do in the sessions.
Yeah, it's like they're playing their instruments and they're playing to the best of their ability, but there's not a real true passion behind it like there is with Wilson's version.
Yeah.
All right, fair point. I'll definitely have to listen to the Brian Wilson version with that in mind now. Because you're absolutely right. All the people that were behind that version had much more passion than the actual Beach Boys did for it. So yeah, very interesting. Okay, Adventure Blue Dude, since you made me listen to two sprawling albums,
technically only one.
Yeah, but two versions of it. So, oh boy. You're going to go off to college soon.
Yes.
In September. So, so we need to get you on while we have you, and we need to cover probably one of the biggest topics that we've covered yet on 21st Century Music. And we'll essentially treat this as the season finale of 21st Century Music.
Are we doing songs cycled?
No, we're not.
Damn.
Rest assured, I have something planned for when Adventure Blue Dude is away, but in the meantime, the series finale, Green Day, American Idiot, and 21st Century Breakdown. There are two rock operas, each with a whole bunch of characters, a whole bunch of plot, like you said, a whole bunch of callbacks, and little lyrical nods and instrumental nods and stuff like that, which I think you'll really appreciate, especially on something like 21st Century Breakdown. Um, I actually liken American Idiot to Phil Spector sound and 21st Century Breakdown to Brian Wilson sound.
Hmm.
But we'll get way into that when we get to it. That should be a massive show because I have a ton to say about it. I mean, it was practically my whole high school life fucking listening to those albums. So I definitely think they are two of the strongest rock operas ever made when it comes to just delivering a very concise and cohesive story with memorable characters. So yeah, lot to talk about there. Lots to talk about. You excited, Adventure Blue Dude?
Yes.
Yes. Are you as excited as Mike Love was to produce SMiLE?
Mike Love did not produce SMiLE. He did nothing. God damn it, Brian Wilson produced SMiLE. He birthed
Well, what I meant to say was, are you as excited as Mike Love was to be involved with SMiLE in any way, shape, or form?
No.
No, you're not even that excited.
Oh no, I meant no as I'm more so. Because Mike Love was not excited.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, like, are you more or less excited?
Oh, more, yes.
More. All right. What's your history of Green Day?
I mean, I've listened to him, not extensively. I've listened to American Idiot, but it's been years.
Okay. And not 21st Century Breakdown at all?
I haven't listened to other than the ones that were on the radio.
That's like half the fucking album, so...
That was only 2 songs.
The ones that were on there was 21st Century Breakdown, there was Last of the American Girls...
No, I'm talking about... Oh, yeah.
There was Know Your Enemy...
Yeah, that's the only one that I've really heard.
21st Century, Know Your Enemy...
I know 21 Guns was on, but I didn't...
21 Guns...
I don't really think I heard that.
There was quite a few singles. And the one song that I wanted to be a single did not become a single. But we'll talk all about that next time.
Okay.
So, yeah. It'll be a rocking Green Day good time. Oh boy. Should be a fun time, yeah. Any last words of wisdom related to SMiLE?
To all you inspiring pianists, build the sandbox around your piano.
And there we go. Have a good night, everyone.